Today I'm doing a pocket dump, and while you may say IDC, I'm showing you what I EDC. Hey guys, my name is Dave Tim. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Today we're talking about something that kind of comes up regularly, even though in some circles it's very well known and it doesn't need to be talked about at all because people already are well established on what they're going to carry, and in other circles people have questions about it. So what we're going to be talking about is EDC, or everyday carry, and we're going to talk about what I carry on a daily basis. Maybe in the comment section below you guys can post what you carry on a daily basis, and we can kind of maybe share some ideas, and we can talk about some of the reasons why I choose to carry some of the things that I do. Now you can see it is an early evening, and this is literally what I wear on my days off. I just have a t-shirt and some shorts. So before we get into the EDC portion, I do have to give a shout out for TriggerCon, which is coming up July 26th through the 29th in Bellevue, Washington. And if you are on the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest, or anywhere in the area, make sure you head on up to Bellevue in the end of July and check out TriggerCon. There's media days, there's industry days, there's range days, and then of course there are 2 days where it's open to the public, where they're going to be showcasing new stuff, plus you get to put your hands on all the cool gear, meet all the coolest people in the industry, all at an amazing event called TriggerCon. You can do an internet search for more details, but it is open to the public, and again, end of July 26th through the 29th, 2018 in Bellevue, Washington. I hope to see you there. So now let's talk about EDC, and why I'm showing you this outside. Before we go inside and take a closer look at what I'm carrying, I wanted to show you, this is basically what I wear on my days off, my time off. I have a t-shirt, I have some shorts, and I want to look kind of as low profile as possible. I kind of want to blend in, and I want to just look like a regular guy. I don't want to necessarily wear like all these tactical clothing and gun shirts, this and whatever. I don't want to draw attention to myself. If you do, that's totally cool, but I try to avoid all that stuff just because I just want to blend in, the gray person, the invisible person, whatever it might be. But if need be, I do carry a pistol, I do carry a spare mag, I carry a flashlight. Here's my spare mag, here's a flashlight. So there's all sorts of tools and equipment that one should have readily available to them should they decide that they may need to protect themselves, a loved one, or take action. Now in my case, I'm an off-duty police officer in my days off, but you may be a permit to carry holder, a person with a concealed carry license, an everyday citizen, whatever it might be, and you have an interest in carrying the appropriate things on your person. Now, starting with my attire, a lot of people don't think about attire, but one of the things that I look for is how does it carry all of the stuff that I'm going to be carrying. And I really like Duluth Trading shirts. Now, I don't get paid by them. You can buy whatever shirts you want, but what I like about Duluth Trading Co. t-shirts, and pretty much all of my t-shirts are Duluth Trading Co., is they are designed for working men or women, and they are designed to prevent plumber's crack, is really what their kind of claim to fame is. So as you bend over, you're not showing your backside. But what I like is as I'm bending over, as I'm reaching, as I'm doing stuff, because of that extra length in the trunk of the shirt, it also helps conceal my firearm. And as you can see, they're a generous fit. I can move around. They come in short sleeve, they come in long sleeve. I really like long sleeve shirts, but they hide my firearm well. They allow that movement, and they're a really well-made shirt. They're thick. They're not like a cheap t-shirt or whatever. So they have a little bit of heft, and designs are a little limited, but they have plain colors, and they have some that say DT, which I'm a little partial to because I think those initials are the best initials ever. Coincidence, whatever. But let's head inside. I'm gonna do a pocket dump. I'll show you what I carry. So this is all the stuff that I literally carry with me on a day-to-day basis. Now, a phone, I think that's pretty self-explanatory why we carry a phone, but I'm a firm believer in always carrying some sort of a way to communicate. You might have to call for help, you may have to call a loved one, you may have to document evidence, and today's smartphones do all of that. So a good quality smartphone is definitely what you should be carrying. Additionally, you have your wallet. This has your cards, your day-to-day activities, whatever. Now, I'm not one of those guys that carries the book of your life wallet, number one, it's uncomfortable to sit on, but number two, if you lose that or if it gets stolen, just the more stuff you carry, the more stuff you're gonna have to worry about. So try to keep it minimal. IDs, your permit to carry, a couple of debit cards, whatever. And I generally prefer a front pocket wallet type like this, just because then I can keep it in my front pocket or a cargo pocket of my pants and it's a lot more comfortable. Now I carry a second wallet, and in this wallet I just have my credentials. So when I travel or whenever I need to present them or whatever, I have my badge and ID in a separate wallet, because sometimes I want to carry it, sometimes I don't, sometimes I want to present it separately, etc. So having two wallets is pretty common in the law enforcement world. Cash, some chapstick, normal stuff here, a lighter. Now, I don't smoke, but you'd be surprised on how handy a lighter comes in all the time, especially, I live in, kind of the North Woods area, so whether it's starting a campfire for the kids, or melting a shoelace, or a tie-down strap, or whatever, I find, sometimes carrying a cigarette lighter can be pretty handy, so I generally always carry one of these. Now, that's kind of the normal stuff. The stuff that you guys want to hear about is probably more of this stuff. I am a firm believer in carrying a knife. The knife that I'm absolutely in love with right now, I got this from a good friend of mine, so it does mean a little bit sentimental value to me, but it's also just a really nice knife. It's a Lion Steel PM2. Right now it's about as dull as a butter knife, so it's due for a sharpening. But honestly, it's just a really, really comfortable knife. It feels great in the hand. It has a really solid lockup. It has a window breaker, it has the clip, and it just opens up really smooth. Man, this is honestly my favorite folder I've ever owned to date. So I carry this pretty much every day, and I absolutely love it. If I could find another one, I totally would buy one in a second just to have. And as far as a light, I'm 100% a firm believer in carrying a flashlight. And again, you'd be surprised how often you come into a need for a flashlight. As a parent, the sippy cup rolls under the seat. Boom, I have a low light mode. I can find that. They lost their toy or whatever. Or we're walking to whatever and they're afraid of the dark. Boom, I've got tons of lumens to help illuminate the way. Or if I did have to identify a potential threat, I want to have that positive ID, and I want to identify my threat before I use force, or this may be a defensive tool. If they all of a sudden they see me, they've not acknowledged that I'm there, I know threats have diffused just by a simple illumination tool. I can also use it as a striking tool, but quite frankly, it just comes in really handy to have as an illumination tool. And my favorite light to date is the brand new one from Surefire. It's the EDC L2T. It has the gas pedal switch, which basically means if I press it lightly, it's 5 lumens. If I press it firm, it's 1200 lumens. So tons of light, but yet also a really handy low light mode for when I just need to read a map or look under a car seat or whatever it might be. I don't necessarily need all the lumens all the time. So having that low mode is just awesome. It's just a great light. And it has the new, well, it's not really a new style. This belt clip has been out for a while, but I can pocket carry it. You could clip it to the bill of a hat and make a makeshift headlamp if you needed to. If you wanted to carry it bezel up, you certainly could, but these clips are nice. The only downside with these clips is I've had the same style on my old Aviator LED light, and they do break sometimes, so make sure you order an extra, and Surefire's warranty is pretty good about that, so good solid light. Now, as far as a handgun, right now, generally in summertime, my off-duty gun most of the time is going to be a Glock 26 with a mag extension and a spare Glock 17 mag. Now, sometimes I will carry a Glock 19. Now, this is in full battle rattle, so to speak. It has my mini red dot sight, and it has a weapon-mounted light. Now, if I'm going to and from work or whatever, and I maybe have an outer garment on, a coat, a sweatshirt, whatever, and I can conceal a larger gun with all the weapon-mounted light, yeah, I might carry this. Or I might simply take the weapon-mounted light off, and then I'll carry the 19 in an inside the waistband holster. Now, as far as inside the waistband holsters go, I'm a firm believer in comfort above all else, because if it's not comfortable, you're probably not going to carry it. However, it does need to be quality, and I found comfort, quality, security, all things that I look for with a good quality holster from Milt Sparks. I don't get paid by them. They're just my favorite. Horsehide, cowhide, all sorts of different options. The 26 holster here is the Nexus. It's very thin, and it does not have a steel mouth insert, so it does compress after you draw it, which really isn't a big deal, but it does add for the comfort. However, I tried the Nexus with the 19, and I quite frankly found that I didn't like where it rode as much as the Versamax here. This is the Versamax 19 holster, and it carries a 19 really well. It does have a steel mouth, so it's a little bit thicker of a holster, but I find that this was actually more comfortable for me. So when I'm carrying my 19, which is often, but I like this holster better. So I'm always carrying a Glock 9mm generally. So whether it's a 26, whether it's a 19, but here's the thing, I carry a magazine for neither. I carry a Glock 17 magazine because it'll fit in any Glock 9mm. If I was carrying a Glock 34, this mag will fit. If I was carrying a Glock 17, this mag will fit. If I'm carrying my Glock 26, this mag will fit, it'll just stick out. If I'm carrying my Glock 19, this mag will fit, it'll just stick out a little bit. So I like carrying a full-size mag, and I'm a firm believer if you are gonna carry a spare mag, because you never know if there might be a stoppage with the gun. You might have multiple attackers, whatever it might be, you might find yourself in a bad situation. And I've interviewed a few people who have been involved in armed confrontations, mostly on the law enforcement side, and to date, I have never met one who said the following. Number one, I wish I had a smaller gun. Number two, I wish I had less of a gun. Number three, I wish I had less bullets, or I'm glad I was alone. I've never heard those things come out of the mouth of anybody who's been involved in an armed confrontation. So that's kind of just my short philosophy. So all this is kind of my everyday carry. Not to mention, I am supporting it with a good quality belt. Now, as far as which belt, don't skimp on a belt. There's tons of good belts out there. Now, I just happen to have one from Eris Gear. It's one that I won at a class, but it's a good quality belt. It supports all of the weight of all of this crap really well. It's very stiff, it's very rigid. It's made out of scuba webbing and has a really solid, belt buckle on it that kind of reminds me of my old Boy Scout belt buckle. So I do really like this, but do not skimp on a belt. Buy a good quality belt that'll support all the weight of this, and it will make carrying so much more comfortable. So I hope this kind of answers a little bit of question of everyday carry. The one thing we didn't talk about is trauma and first aid stuff. Now, I know some people say, well, I always carry a tourniquet and an IFAK, and that's awesome if you do. I don't. When I'm at work, I carry a tourniquet, I carry gloves, I carry a couple things in a cargo pocket, but when I'm off and I'm wearing jeans or regular pants or cargo pants or whatever, I may not have the room, I may not have the space to always carry that. So I'm gonna be up front, I don't carry a tourniquet with me every day. I have a small kit that I've done videos on, I keep those in my car, I keep those close at hand, but in the event I was out at a shopping mall or whatever and needed a tourniquet, yeah, I don't have one. So I might look at something in the future, but I'll be up front, I don't. But if you do, that's totally fine. So that's just a little bit of insight of why I carry what I carry, and maybe this will cause some discussion and reflection for you to see what works well for you. And what's great is that we can have a discussion, we can learn together. So please leave in the comment section below what you carry or ideas that you have, or if you're watching this on Facebook, you can even post a picture of your pocket dump on Facebook, and we can have a great discussion there. If you're watching this on YouTube or other things, please leave a comment and please share this video, guys. We really do want to see the channel grow, but the only way it's going to grow is with your help. So please, please, please share the video. Hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, please hit subscribe. But again, hit that share button. We'd love to see our channel grow. And as always, please submit your questions. I will throw the email address up right now. We do have a monthly QA segment that we answer your questions every month, and plus one lucky viewer gets a prize every month as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Look forward to seeing you in future content. Make sure you're following the channel, and thanks for watching, and have a great day.